Now, all three of them, Asaase, Tamale and Kantamanto, completely extinguished.
Hi, so good morning again. As it stands now, I can confidently say that all the fires at Tamale, Asaase and Kantamanto has all been finally or totally extinguished. The one at Kantamanto, for instance, is evident, as can be seen by the, I would say, unapproved reconstruction of the market by the traders. So, yes, they've all been extinguished, and investigations into all these three fires and more are currently underway.
Interestingly, with the reconstruction, freelance or otherwise, by the traders at Kantamanto, that happening instantly despite an announcement by the Gbesimanche that Kantamanto market land is in fact store land, and that anybody who was rebuilding structures on the land needs to seek permission from the traditional council. That being one factor, is there authorization for the new structures going up? And what is the GNFS view on the fact that the framework for the new structures going up appears to be wood, which you would say is another recipe for another fire in the not so distant future?
Well, the GNFS's plan on the reconstruction is that we are not in support of it. Even if it should be reconstructed, consultations should be done with the Ghana National Fire Service so that we'll be able to make recommendations as to how to reconstruct it, this time being able to make sure that it's able to withstand fires, or to be able to make it easily accessible for firefighters or emergency service responders to get to the scene. For instance, if we had our way, per our recommendations, we would recommend that better spacing should be in this market so that in case there's emergencies, the spread of fire will be minimal. Again, if there's any emergency, we will be able to get to the seat of fire much easier. Again, the wood being used, we can't do the same old thing and expect different results. So the wood has, over the years, proven to be a very worrisome situation and helping in the spread of fires. We have much more fire-resistant tools or fire-resistant items that can be used in reconstruction that can be able to withstand fires or minimize the spread of fires if there should be fires. So if the Ghana National Fire Service is properly consulted, we'll be able to make inputs that will be able to help us avert something like this in the future. Else, if we keep on doing the same old thing, I can assure you that in a few years' time, we'll be back here having the same old discussion.
So a worrying precedent being set there, as you say, Mr. Nartey. The structures, as I've seen them, I've not been to the site myself, but from the pictures I've seen, appearing as we said, to be wooden frameworks, and the shops all back to back to back, leaving no room for access for fire or any other emergency services that may need to go into Kantamanto in the future. And the implication from what you've said there, Mr. Nartey, is that the traders have not consulted you, the Ghana National Fire Service. They've just gone in there and done what hawkers and informal traders do everywhere. They're just trying to get back to life as it was before. Do you have any powers as one of our national emergency services of intervening at this early stage of the process before people start putting up full structures and demanding that adaptations be made, because this is too great a fire risk for people to return to trading in?
You see, so as a service, we can only do our part by doing our best to make sure that we protect human lives where necessary, make recommendations. But when it comes to implementation, our powers are quite limited in that area, because it beholds, again, on the assemblies, because these assemblies are the custodians of the market, and it beholds on them that the recommendations that we make are religiously adhered to by them. But that is not the case that we find in most of these markets and these assemblies, because it looks like most of these assemblies are just interested in going to collect their tools from the people, not taking into consideration the implementation of these safety measures. So as a service, our power is limited. We've not been shy to talk about the fact that we are challenged when it comes to logistics. So we won't be able to marshal a lot of people or a lot of logistics to go there to enforce some of these things. So then, until the collaborative agencies like the assemblies also come in, we are quite limited, and all we can do is to put it out there, the dangers involved, and hope that these will be recommended or actions will be taken in consonance with our recommendations.
So the onus lying on the municipal assemblies to enforce the local bylaws to ensure that there are reasonable fire safety precaution measures being taken. In relation to the investigation of the causes, though, of the fires in Tamale, Kwadaso, and here in Accra, how much further progressed is the Ghana National Fire Service with identifying what caused or may have caused the fires in the first place?
Well, we are still investigating. We have different processes or different phases of investigations, and they are all at different stages of the investigation. Looking at the high stakes involved in all these fires, investigations go through a lot of processes. After the crew are done with the investigation, it goes to their commander, goes to the regional commander, goes to the chief fire officer, goes to our operations department. So it goes to a lot just to be sure that we have credible information or credible investigation. But then a lot of these fires have had about 4 or 5 similar causes running through over the years. And I won't be surprised that it could be any one of these causes. It could be electrical fault. It could be indiscriminate burning. It could be arson or deliberate fire. It could again be cooking in the market. It could be anything from negligence. So all these things have been running through with a lot of the investigations we're having. And the recommendations have always been the same, but implementation of these recommendations have always been the problem. That's how come we keep recording a trend. So we are still investigating, but then again, we are looking at all these possible causes that could have been part of the reasons for the various fires we recorded cutting across.
But so far, no indication that one probable cause of fire, say illegal electrical connections, is more likely to have been the cause of the fire in any one of these incidents than any of the others.
Well, we are still investigating. It could be a cause, as I said. That's why I listed the possible causes. It could again be, as speculated by people, that it could have been arson. Yes, we are not ruling it out and we are not confirming it. But it could be that, it could be electrical faults. It could be, again, as we were fighting a fire, especially at the Tantamantu. A lot of explosions were going off as a result of gas cookers that these market folks had kept in their market. We've spoken against cooking in the market, but yet it's not been adhered to. So it was putting the lives of our officers in danger. So it could be anything from cooking there to electrical wiring. Because even, I think, somewhere last 2 years, we embarked on an operation with the Electricity Company of Ghana to, went to Kantamantu. Some years ago, and we saw a lot of anomalies with the electrical wiring, and so we made recommendations to them. And I doubt if those recommendations were adhered to. So yes, we're not ruling out electrical faults, but then again, we're not ruling out all the other possible causes of these fires.
Finally, Alex King Nartey, in relation to, if you like, progress and looking to the future, much, of course, being made about the need for us to progress beyond the informal structures, such as the informal rebuilding of Cantonmanto that's taking place even as we speak, and having purpose-built bricks and mortar government market structures to accommodate our traders, give them a healthier and safer environment in which to work. The newly built markets such as Kijitia, though not having been entirely immune from fire incidents in the recent past, certainly in the past year I think we saw an outbreak at the central Kijitia market, but the fires there more easily reached by the emergency services and better contained. Any advice for the kinds of physical structures that we would ideally like to have as our trading spaces moving into a future where we become more safety conscious?
Well, Kijitia Market is a good example of fires. Unfortunately, they have not been compliant for a while now with most of our recommendations. For instance, they were supposed to have sprinklers that would be able to, sprinkle water immediately it detects fires. These sprinklers have not been serviced in a while because what's it called? Because they obviously cry for lack of funds to help us service these stuff. So moving forward, yes, KJTR market could be a good example of a good market because the structures used there are quite fire resistant. So if I'm to draw attention back to the fire that happened some months ago, somewhere last year, you realize that despite the severe fire, the market is still intact. It didn't come down because of the kind of materials that was used in constructing the market. So if other kind of materials are inculcated or replicated in the construction of other markets, it will help. So even if there should be fires, it wouldn't raise down the whole market. It will still be a usable market. So then also would advise that these markets should have trained fire wardens in these markets so that they'll be able to help carry out fire safety inspection markets, to be able to forestall any instances of fires. Again, also would appeal to government, to help invest much more in the Ghana National Fire Service so that it will be good to have much more or enough fire tenders in the system so that we're able to commit fire tenders to some areas, to some markets. It wouldn't be a bad idea to get a stationary fire tender at Agbogboshi or a stationary fire tender at Cantonmanto, so that we have crew there, and then if a fire starts at the initial stage, we're able to solve it, quickly before it escalates. So moving forward, yes, the market should do their part, but then again, government should also do well to resource us so that we'll be able to get much more than enough fire tenders, so that we'll be able to protect the important places like the markets, banks, malls, and other places that require fire protection.
Thanks to you, Alex King Nartey, Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service. Yes, a plea there for better resourcing of the Ghana National Fire Service to help our firemen and firewomen, help them keep us safer and help them preserve those safety anti-fire measures.